The three pillars of employee need engagement. How do you get the best out of your team? What makes some teams go above and beyond while others just do the bare minimum? If you think about your own team, are people truly engaged or simply showing up? We often talk about motivation, recognition, pay, or meaning at work. Patrick Lencioni offers a very simple idea. Employee engagement is built on three deeply human needs. Three needs that every leader can nurture every day. And when these needs are met, people don't just come to work, they care. So just dive in the subject. The three pillars of engagement. Patrick Lencioni talks about organizational health, and he says that for an employee to be truly engaged, three basic needs must be met: to feel known, to feel useful, and to be able to measure themselves. When one of these needs is missing, disengagement slowly appears. Let's look at each of them with real example. The first pillar, to feel known. The opposite of this need is anonymity. It's when someone feels like just a name on a list, as a role on an organization chart. An engaged employee feels seen. They feel known as a person, not just for what they do, but for who they are. For example, saying my daughter does ballet is sharing information. Saying I can't wait to see her at her recital shows genuine interest. So how to nurture this pillar, this need? First, take time to ask simple and human questions. The second, be curious without being intrusive. And third, show really empathy, not just polite empathy. And most importantly, do it often. The recognition is like a muscle. It grows stronger when you use it. The second need, to feel useful. The opposite of this need is feeling irrelevant. When someone feels their work doesn't really matter, they disconnect. Every human being needs to feel that they make a difference. Patrick Lencioni put this simply. He said, I need to be needed. So how to nurture this need? The employee has to answer these three questions. Who am I helping? How am I helping them? And what impact does my work have? So to nurture this need or to answer these questions, help people connect their daily task to a clear, concrete purpose. And the second idea is to invite clients, partners, coworkers to share how they've been positively affected by this employee. The third pillar is to be able to measure yourself. Being able to see your own progress and success. This is the opposite of this need is powerlessness. When people don't know if they're moving forward or backward, their motivation drops. People need to see their progress for themselves without waiting for their manager to tell them, my success doesn't depend on the opinion or whims of another person. So to nurture this need, define with the team simple and visible indicators, chosen together. Link team goals to each person's individual contribution. And finally, encourage monthly self-assessment with questions like, where did I make progress? What makes me proud this month? These measures are not about control. They are about giving meaning and ownership to each person's work. I have two questions for you. I invite you to take a step back. It's a short moment of introspection. Which of these three needs is the least fulfilled in your team? And if you had to act on just one need this week, which one would it be? So choose one simple action to try in the next 7 days, a gesture, a question, an act of attention. And that's often where real change begins. Before that, I have 3 pitfalls to show. The first one is believing you know your team just because you see them every day. The risk here is missing subtle signals and, for example, an exhausted or disengaged employee. So my tip is ask, how are you really doing this week? The really is very important. The impact, you will have more authentic relationships and conversation, and it will prevent rather than repair. The pitfall number 2, assuming people naturally understand how their work contributes. If you assume that, the risk is they start seeing their task as disconnected from the mission. So connect each team goal to a real person who benefits from it. The impact, employees see their usefulness and rediscover meaning in their work. And finally, pitfall number 3, confusing indicators with control. If you create dashboard alone without the participation of the employee, that discourage instead of motivate. So co-create simple benchmark with your team, and you can see the impact. Measurement become a source of pride and autonomy, not stress. My question for you: what will be your next step to engage your employees?